What's this?
Hello, welcome back to the Freak Show, ladies and gentlemen. Bumpy McSquigums here, and it's time for me to do something a little bit off of our normal playthrough. I wanted to showcase what the Chaos Warriors DLC and why you should pre-order and why you should, well, grab the game within this first week that it released. And, well, like I said, showcase the Chaos Warriors DLC. That being said, it's finally active and ready for me, so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to campaigns. We're going to start a new campaign. I'm only going to play basically one episode today. Just to give you guys a rough idea, I'm not going to continue this until we beat the Orc campaign, or I die horribly and lose it absolutely, completely, and totally and utterly. And by Orc, I do mean green skin, because there's obviously goblins and other things. Anyway, all that being said, folks, let's hop in and see what the new Chaos Warriors, or Warriors of Chaos as they're called here, have to offer. You guys can pause and read this if you wish. Now, they are interesting. They're actually exceptionally interesting and very, very, very unique in what they can do. They don't actually have any cities, and each individual army is its own city. It's weird, but it's pretty cool at the same time. Alright, so Horde. The faction has no settlements. Infrastructure and military improvements are linked to individual Chaos Hordes, or your army, as it were. Corruption. Chaos corruption can be spread in enemy territories, leading to public order problems and even Chaos rebellions. Alright, Chaos Giant is our, like, super ultra mega elite guy, one of them. We have the Hell Cannon, which is pretty awesome. And we have the Chosen, which are our heavy axemen. They're basically our heavy infantry. They're armored and shielded, and they're pretty crazy and quite deadly. Now, playstyle. This is going to be quite challenging. Strong unit roster with armored infantry and monsters. Severely limited missile options, though I do apparently have mounted missile users or skirmishers or what have you. So that was kind of neat. Strong diplomatic penalties with almost all factions. We cannot trade. And economy is heavily reliant on sacking, raiding, and battle loot. So whereas a lot of you guys said or thought that the goblins would be... Sorry, not the goblins, but the greenskins, the goblins and the orcs together would be more murder, death, killing, sacking and destroying. It's true, they are a little bit better at that than, say, the other factions. However, the Warriors of Chaos need and thrive on that. Like, you will fail if you don't sack and raise and loot and pillage and such. So, that being said, let's continue. Alright, we have 3 choices as opposed to the normal 2. We have the Faction Leader, the Archeon, the Ever-Chosen. Faction Leader, powerful melee fighter and leader, can use spells from the Lore of Fire. And it's pretty sweet. You get Chaos Warriors, you get Chaos Halberds, and Chosen Great Weapons. So, Chaos Warriors. I'm not actually going to roll out with this guy. I'm going to go over here with the Prince, just to show you guys the Hell Cannon here. It's pretty sweet. So, we're going to go, like I said, we're going to play around. We're going to spend about 30 minutes just kind of getting into some fights and doing stuff, just to showcase what you guys could be grabbing if you act quickly. Otherwise, you're going to probably... I'm not sure. I imagine that they will eventually release it as a purchasable DLC. But again, if you guys act within the first week that it's released, you can actually grab this for free. So, definitely do that, guys. It's worth it. I played around with it. I was actually looking forward to and was initially planning to start with these guys. But for whatever reason, I couldn't get the DLC to work for me in the pre-released version of the game. So, that being said, let's hop in and see what's up.
The old world is weak. The mortal nations flounder in their own incessant and petty wars. Ignorant of what truly awaits in the north. I come before the mighty Archeon as a mere minion. For now, at least, the gods' favored champion chooses to hear my advice. I pray to the dark powers that I do not fail him. Despite such a risk, I urge my master that now is the time to march south. The Northmen grow restless. We must harness that and send the tribes in a great tide southwards to flood the old world. Archaon himself, chosen of the gods, will lead the hordes of chaos as we despoil the lands of men and dwarfs. No soul, no matter how blackened or pure, shall see salvation.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully you guys are excited to see what the Chaos guys look like. It's pretty cool, I have to admit. I played around with this a little bit last night. I said, like, oh, it's finally activated. Cool. So while I was doing the rendering and uploading and various things that I was doing, I decided I would check it out and play around with it. I played for probably about an hour. There's some stuff, there's a reason it's considered a hard start. There's a lot of cool things, and there's a lot of interesting, slightly bizarre things. Like, you have to encamp, and then you can build additional buildings, and you can recruit troops. I'm not sure if you can recruit, I can't remember if I can recruit troops while not encamped. And when you encamp, no matter where you're at, when you are encamped, you also manage to replenish your troops, which is pretty neat. But the replenishment's a lot lower than some of the greenskin places. I don't know if it's because we don't have the right buildings or what the case is. But essentially, you just move your army from place to place and destroy and sack and loot and pilfer. It's pretty effective. It's actually really, really cool. And it's definitely more fighty. So if you were looking for orc fightiness, this is definitely the group you want to go with for orc fightiness, even though you're not an orc or a greenskin, as it were. I don't know, guys and gals. I don't know. It was quite fun, but I can definitely see there being some troubles until you get maybe 2 or 3 hordes going, and then you can just go around and slaughter stuff. I had like 20,000 gold stored up after, I don't know, maybe less than 20 turns, like 18 turns or something. You have to get a lot of additional population surpluses to build the buildings, which it's weird. It's very unique. I love the idea and concept. It'll probably take me a bit to actually play around with it before I start really grasping the full concept of it, but it's still going to be cool to show off.
Your adopted father calls you, Sigvald. The Dark Prince desires destruction and perversion of the world. Let it begin.
Let it begin.
You shall go into the lands of the mortals to spread fear and destruction. The Norse tribes to the west shall fall easily before you. Bind those willing to join your cause, and slay the rest.
Indeed.
Further to the south lie the nations of men. They will resist your advance, and for good reason. You will bring them annihilation, mighty lord.
Oh yes. There will be blood.
Devour the mortal souls to bring the favor of the Chaos Gods. March forth and spread oblivion in their name.
Alright, looks like the greenskins are not going to be the ones here. Alright, objective issued. The pawn. All are pawns of chaos. All must serve. Do as the dark gods wish and begin the destruction. Thus is the way prepared for the end times. Raise or sack 4 different settlements. 2,000 gold for it? What? Alright, so here's our gold and our income, and it's actually favor. It's not really gold, so it's dark god favor and such. So what we're going to do for our first turn might seem a little counterproductive as we want to go and march and slaughter stuff. I'm actually not going to do that. What I'm going to do, we are right now set up in movement turn. It's weird. Because like when I started the game last time, when I did this, I wasn't able to move. I was set up in the encampment mode. Or maybe it's because I went into recruit units. It auto did that. Alright, so we're going to recruit units. I think it auto puts you into encampment mode when you do that. I'm going to get, let's see. I'm going to get a Marauder Horseman and another one of these guys. Chaos Marauders. So the Chaos Marauders are your basic, simple, just infantry units. The Marauder Horsemen are actual ranged skirmish units. And then you have these dogs, these Chaos Warhounds, which are really, really good at charging in and attacking various different people. I think they're resistant to ranged attacks as well. And you see right here, we only have 2 that we can actually recruit. Now when we did that, it moved us into the encampment stance. Now we can click on this panel right here to build a building as well, which we want to do. It's going to be this one, the Tribal Gathering. It'll lower the upkeep for all of our units, increase... Well, I guess it just puts our Horde recruitment capacity at +2, which I believe it already was. Yeah, +2. If we get the next one, it's +3. And we start to corrupt the provinces that we're in with Chaos Corruption, and it's pretty good. I don't know what Horde Growth is, though. Unfortunately, I have no idea what that means. But we'll figure it out, I suppose. Alright, so we're going to do that. And we have this building built right now. And we'll be able to build more. If we take a look over here, there's two different things. We can go with the warlike stuff. Hold on, let's get up here. We already have this building, so obviously we don't want to build another one. Once we group up, we can start the next building. Sorry, guys. We can start the next building, which is over here, which will allow us to get Chaos Warriors and various other things, Exalted Heroes and Chosen Warriors and all sorts of stuff like that. We can wait till we're at the Tier 3 and then start with this building, and we can get ourselves the Forsaken. And then also different agents, sorcerers, and fire spellcast guys. Or we can get the Chaos Trolls. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we can get. Or we can go down this route and go with something like the Unholy Furnace, which will eventually allow us to get the Hell Cannons and such. So the buildings are quite a bit different. I don't know if eventually we'll be able to unlock all of these various different slots, and we'll be able to build every building. I don't know how it's going to work. I haven't played in far enough to, well, really tell you. Alright, so we're going to end our first turn after we do a research. We start off being able to research technology. Or we're supposed to be able to do that. I'm not sure why we're not able to. Oh, is it because we don't have enough money? That's why. Okay, well, so be it. That's fine. I'm going to end the turn. We need a 2,500 to actually be able to do that. And unfortunately, with all the grabbings of stuff, we're not going to be able to. But now we can. The Path of Ruination. I don't think that does anything specific for us, except it unlocks these that we can get, and it unlocks this one. So, with that being said, we are going to get out of our current stance, as we have built the buildings, and we have recruited the troops. And we are going to start moving our way as close as we can to the Breslin camp, or the Berseling camp. And we're about to do some murder death killing, and you guys should be pretty excited by this. And the turn again. And I know I could have just gone with like a regular battle to show off the different chaos units, but I thought the whole concept and idea behind the campaign was pretty sweet, so I wanted to show more. I got greedy, guys. I got greedy. I wanted to showcase this in its fullness. Alright, so we're going to go here. We're going to be up against what, like, yeah, some pretty pathetic troops. There's a Great Axe Infantry that's somewhat strong, and actually, these are also Chaos units, which is weird. Or, like, they're using the same units, but they're considered Norse units. I don't know why specifically. Again, my knowledge of Warhammer Fantasy is pretty slim, we'll say. Alright, well, they have a lot of ranged horsemen that they're going to be able to attack us with. It's going to be mildly inconvenient. But we'll make it work. Anyhow, I'm not going to cut and go back and forth with this, guys and gals. I'm just going to sit here and we're going to go through and we're going to have some fun with it. The Hell Cannon looks really sweet when it fires. I'm a big fan of it, and I think you guys will like it a lot as well. But yeah, you start off, you're able to recruit, since you generally, you know, loot different villages, you get quite a bit of money or favor or whatever you want to call it. And you're able to actually get quite a large army early on, and you can combine armies as they start to die off and everything else, and keep pretty strong. The downside is it takes a while before you can get the better buildings to build the better troops. So as you lose more and more of your stronger troops, you get a weaker and weaker army. So it may be more viable to send in your weaker troops as sacrifices, because they are replenishable, and then come in with your heavier troops as like a last, you know, crush their souls, flank them type situation. I don't know. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it, but that's what I have found thus far. All right, we're gonna make these guys group 2. Stick them off to the side, and I kind of wish I did this before we went into battle, but we'll go over here to this little page. We'll let it load. So these guys are missile cavalry. Upgrade, and it shows you all the different costs and everything else and what they have. And then here's some of their attributes. And a lot of folks have pointed this out, and I'm grateful for that, so I now know if we ever take a look at any of the attributes of the people we have in our army, if they have this Vanguard Deployment attribute, it will I have a privacy policy on my mouse cursor. That's hilarious. Anyway, if we do the Vanguard deployment, it will allow us to deploy outside the zone. So I think we can deploy anywhere, well, anywhere before the white line. So as you can see in the background here, there's the deployment for the enemy, and then here's the white line. So we can definitely do that. We can hide in the forest. Whilst moving, we can fire, which is pretty awesome. That actually allows us to, like, be chased, and while we're running back and staying in skirmish mode, which we have down here, this is skirmish mode, we'll keep our distance and we'll keep firing at whoever's running at us. Now the downside is they have 4 units that can do this as well. So it's pretty sweet, guys. It's pretty sweet. I am looking forward to trying this out. I sort of wish there were some trees nearby that I could hide in. I feel like if I go all the way to like the backside over here to hide in trees, by the time I made it to the front lines, it just wouldn't be viable. So, that being said, I'm probably just gonna chill maybe like up on the hill over here for right now. It's gonna be fine. Alright, so I'm gonna get the halberders, or the halberd chosen, couple it with the prince here. We're gonna set that as our group 1. We're gonna set these 3 as group 3. And then these 3 as group 4. Now another one of the really cool and really powerful units that we have right here is the Chaos Spawn. And I want to show you guys the different groups when we get into this a little bit further. I'm going to do Control 5 here to get the dogs into place. We're going to move you up to the front line. Keep you guys right behind. I'm actually going to position everybody before we start. So that's going to be the play. And then before we start, we'll actually take a look at all the individual troops. I think you guys will like what you see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you won't like what you see, but I think you will. Alright, so we're a little bit lopsided on our deployment, but let's go take an actual close-up view of what we have over here. So these are the Marauder horsemen, as they just said. And they look basically like your Chaos Marauders, or your... Is that what they're actually called? I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, the Chaos Marauders. But they're on horseback, and they have spears that they will chuck, and like I said, they are skirmish units. And they will do skirmishy things, as said skirmish units. And I'm in fact going to set them into skirmish mode right now. I can always turn it off later, but in case I forget and don't set it later, well, it's done now. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to look at our chosen warriors here. These are the chosen, and they have the halberds, so giant pole arms. They're going to do some significant damage. They are heavily armored, so they will definitely win most battles in straight-up conflict, you know. They're just going to kind of wreck everybody else. Heavily armored. They don't move ridiculously quick, but they move quick enough, and they get around and they get stuff done. The prince is here. He's decked out in his armor. He's got his little sword and his shiny shield. It's a little sad. I mean, these guys definitely look cooler than he does. He doesn't have a helmet or big shoulder pads or anything, but I suppose that's a 40k thing. Alright, then over here we have more chosen, but these guys are the traditional chosen. They have axes and they have shields. And you see some of the shields are glowing, which is pretty sweet. And some have like these giant heads on them. I mean, that's definitely the diversity. I'm enjoying it. Like the little skull on top of the spike, it's pretty neat. This one's just like up top, it's stabbed through with both horns. Pretty cool diversity there on that. And then these are... What are these guys? I'm not sure what they are. These are just Chaos Warriors. So these are the Chaos Warriors. These are not as strong as the Chosen, but they're still heavily armored and they're shielded. So these are like maybe the low end of your stronger troops, or the upgrade to your low end troops, if you will. So they're like medium grade troops. But they look pretty cool. They got spikes all over their armor and such. Pretty neat, pretty nifty. This dude can barely see, but he can definitely breathe. This doesn't really cut back on like inhaling or chewing on bugs. They just fly right through that. But again, they're in the snow, so you guys can see those guys in the background. They look sexy, don't they? But you're in the snow, so there's not really a lot of bug problems. Here is your amazing Hell Cannon. You got your little group of short, stunty Chaos Warriors. I don't know if they're really stunties, but they look kind of dwarf-like. They have beards. This guy's got like a a welder's mask on. This guy's got his flipped up. What does this guy got on his head? This guy's got a dunce cap or something. Anyway, this thing looks pretty cool. It's on fire. It's got a giant, well, not really a giant, but a small hole here that's going to fire out horrible, horrible, awful death. I've decimated people with this Hell Cannon. It's going to be pretty cool. We'll get to these guys later. I don't want to go to them just yet. These are going to be your basic infantry guys, your weakest of the weak. They are shielded, and they're not really heavily armored, but they look pretty cool. And then finally, before our last group of guys, we have our little warhounds here. Chaos warhounds. They look pretty nasty. They do run down people really quickly. They're about as fast as horsemen. They might even be quicker, I'm not sure. I haven't done the side-by-side comparison, but they're pretty fast and they're pretty deadly. They're not super powerful, so they're pretty easy to rout. But they'll rout and they'll come back in and do some damage. Now, for our most powerful of melee troops, we have these bad boys. These are monstrous infantry. They are definitely sexy. They look very pretty. If you want to make out with them, there's probably something wrong with you and you should seek psychiatric help. They are really terrifying, and they do tremendous amounts of work in battle. I am a big fan of these guys. These guys have kept me in fights that I shouldn't have been able to win. And yeah, pretty freaking sweet. So there you have it. There's the rundown of the troops that we have right now, guys and gals. And I know we're taking a little bit of time with this. We're probably going to only end up with the one battle, but you know what? It's going to give you guys an incentive or an idea of what you're getting when you get the Chaos Warriors DLC, if you grabbed it in pre-order or you grabbed it in the first week of release. So let us begin the attack. We're going to launch our fire and our hatred onto this guy and get ready to see the Chaos Cannon fire here. There it is. There's our purple ball of just evil flying through the air. And as you can see, it does quite a bit of damage. I think there was 120 guys. I think that just took out 13, or maybe there was 110, and it took out, you know, oh, here it comes again. It doesn't always hit. That's one of the downsides. I've missed quite a bit of times, but there has been one or two battles where the enemy sat and waited for me, and I just completely crushed them with the Chaos Cannon. And it's going to miss the primary target and hit the secondary. We're still going to wait. They're getting closer, though, now. So at some point, they're going to start moving in. And I'm going to get the Marauder Horsemen to start coming over here. The Chaos Cannon should fire at least 2 more times before they close with us. These guys are going to run up. I think what I'm going to do is actually send these guys into melee and just try to maul them down. And then these guys are going to... We're going to actually pause here. This is about to go a little bit off the rails. Not horribly. Like, we're not in any trouble right now. But it's going to get a little bit sticky here. A little bit messy, if you will. Alright, so we're going to attack those guys. We're going to fire onto you. Is everybody in run right now? I feel like you're not, but we'll see. I'm not sure what I want to do with these guys. They're not super fast, but they usually can catch up to people, so I'm not sure. And I'm going to send these guys in to deal with those. I will send these guys out, and we'll see what we do with them after we unpause. Let us unpause. They're already like, oh crap, this is a mistake. We shouldn't have done this. We just landed another big, nasty attack there. I'm trying to run them down. Alright, we're going to back away from these guys now. We are in skirmish mode. We're going to stay in skirmish mode. These guys are not running. We want to make sure they are. Alright, and now we're going to actually charge into these guys again. Our hero's running in. He's got no skills right now. And we are definitely chasing these guys down, but they're just going to outrun us. There's not really much we can do. So apparently they're not quite as fast as I was hoping. Not quite as fast. Alright, so what we're going to do now is charge in here with our boys. We have our Chaos Warriors. Our Hell Cannon. We're going to have it fire over here and see if we can actually land on our boys here. Going to fall back. This Marauder Horseman decided he didn't want to play. I'm getting away so when we fire with our Hell Cannon, hopefully it doesn't hit our own people. They're firing, and boom, right in the middle of them all. That was beautiful, sweet, sweet, nice style. Over here, our dogs are still chasing down the other Marauders. It's not going super well. The horsemen are winning. And by winning, I mean they're running away. They're fleeing. They're not getting caught or captured. And they're probably going to escape without us being able to do anything. Everybody else is fleeing now except for the horsemen. So there's that. This group of horsemen is also fleeing now. We're going to continue to chase. Some of our warriors are fleeing. I'm not sure about that. Oh, I guess these guys got tore up a little bit here. Alright, well, we're going to swoop over and hopefully attack these guys. The dogs are still running, so yes, apparently the horses are still a little bit quicker. These guys are definitely out of it. We're going to just turn and fire on those guys. We're going to, I guess, chase these guys down. There's not really much else we can do. Like I said, it's always annoying when you have skirmishy, fast attack units like the horsemen here. There's not a whole lot you can do about it, so... What we're going to do now is actually return back here and see if we can't actually attack these guys. I don't think there's any way we pin them in, but you never know. Are we going to actually take a shot at these guys? Oh, it looks like we might. Let's watch this and let the others run their course. Alright, we're taking a shot, and I think we missed. It's a bit sad. Alright, we're going to attack again. We missed again. Let's see how many times we miss. There we go. Now we landed one. Fire again. Overshot. Alright. Take a shot at them. I doubt we hit them, but you never know. Oh, almost. We have any chance? Oh, they did a wiggle. I don't know if that would have changed anything. One final shot? Nope. Looks like he's out. Alright, so victory is ours. We ran down as many as we could. This was an actual town battle, so it doesn't matter whether we chase anything else down. It was a little bit annoying. Like I said, they had really mobile guys that didn't do a whole lot. So, I mean, it's not like they were amazing and they crushed us. They just basically ran from us the whole time while we crushed their actual infantry. So we'll end the battle there, and you see we deployed 1,000 and we lost less than 100. I mean, it's not bad. I think I can't remember if I lost... I guess if we deployed the same amount, 1,085, I lost 85 units the first time I did this. And we pretty much crushed them. Vlad von Karstein, I don't know. But if you look overall, the only things we really lost were a few of the dogs and a couple of units from the horsemen that we had. We completely, pretty much annihilated them in every fashion or way. I don't know, did we defeat their lord? I'm not sure if we did. He may have escaped, but I don't think he was an actual real lord, because he was just like a great axe infantry, I think. So we'll see what the fallout is, and I'll show you guys what options you have available. So if I'm not wrong, if I can recall correctly, you have the ability to loot or raise, and I think you can also awaken a clan if you loot them, if they're already a chaos, and then they become your ally. I don't think you can ever control them, I'm not sure just yet, but they become your ally if you awaken the clan, because I was able to do that. But I was only able to do that with this group that we just captured right here. I wasn't able to do it with any of the others. Alright, so our decisive victory is decisive and victorious, and there's the loot that we gained, which is pretty nice. We did manage to capture 106 enemies nonetheless, so that's pretty sweet. Alright, so we have Sack, we have Raise, and then we have Awakened Tribe, which will allow us to get some unit replenishment, which isn't bad. I'm going to sack the group first, because I need the cash. The Kurgan are a tribe that could end all others. Such are their numbers. Best keep this chieftain as an ally. Income from sacking settlements is increased by 10%. It's a Kurgan chieftain, and he has joined our boy. And we also got a collector. Income from sacking settlements is also increased by +6. Some nobles of the mortal nations, the rich ones, take to buying antiquities and cursed items. Their ignorance in unearthing such relics is our ally. Alright, so we're going to go and we're going to click on our boy here, and we are going to check out our character details. And we have both of these guys selected. We have skill points available, and here are the ones that we have. The Eyes of the God allows weapon strength, and then you've seen most of the stuff already. You kind of know what to expect down the line, right? Blade Shield, interesting. Additionally, you have Dominating Presence, and increases your leadership effects. And then you get like chariot bonuses. You get bonuses more for your troops than necessarily yourself. And then down here you got Route Marcher, which essentially allows you to get more from looting, raiding, recruitment. I mean, all sorts of stuff down here is pretty good. But I like to be the offensive guy. I like to control my main hero and just crush everybody's soul with him, so that's generally what I do. It's probably not smart, but it's what I do. So, just something to be aware of. That being said, we're about out of time, but before we end it, I believe I can still come back here, and I can awaken the tribe. Now, the downside is I don't get back the troops this time. So I can awaken the tribe, and it says, you summon the original Norse tribe that once wandered this region. Resurrecting their faction, all captives are released. They will be immensely grateful for this, offering their service as a military ally. So I have done that, and my next goal is actually going to be to come up here and take on this one. So, that being said, I think we can still make our move toward that goal, if we were so inclined, or there's a few things. We still have enough movement where we can actually encamp ourselves. And if we do that while we're inside of an allied territory, we do actually replenish relatively quick. But when you're outside, you can also encamp, and when you encamp on the outside, like say we were in this territory, we would still be able to replenish some of our troops. We could also do raiding and all sorts of other stuff. But that was just kind of a sneak peek at what you guys get for getting the game early. I figured it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it last night, and it was definitely worth showing off. There will be another episode of the normal Greenskin campaign coming up in a little bit. So if you guys enjoyed this, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share it. Maybe this is the next group you want me to cover. I don't know. Let me know, guys. Let me know. You don't have to let me know right now. You don't have to let me know right now. But when we get closer to the end of the Greenskin campaign, I will start taking like a vote for what people want to see next. Anyway, guys and gals, that's going to do it for this episode, this first look at the Chaos Warriors DLC. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share it. And I'll see you next time with more Greenskin Total War Warhammer. Until then, my name's Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you for stopping by the Freak Show, and I will see you later.